Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman Atkins, thanks for being here. Thanks for your service to the country. The United States has the greatest capital markets in the world, and in large part, it's the oversight and regulations that are provided to the SEC to make sure we guide that to success. I want to touch base in particular on your MOU with the CFTC. The House passed the Clarity Act to really provide a framework for regulation in the digital asset space to do two really important things in my view. One, protect consumers, and two, make sure that the United States is the domicile to be able to outcompete the rest of the globe. You engaged in an MOU with the CFTC. Sometimes we've seen the SEC and the CFTC not play well together. I think we're seeing a change under your leadership at the SEC. Could you provide a little additional clarity for a pun on the term clarity, but a little more clarity on what this MOU is, how it's working, and how you're operating with the CFTC in particular as it relates to the digital asset space?
Well, thank you very much. That's really near and dear to my heart. So I'm really thrilled that the president appointed Mike Selig to be chairman. So he came from my office and obviously was chief counsel for the crypto task force. So he's well positioned to do what he's doing there at the CFTC. So our intent is to harmonize the activities of the two agencies, particularly with respect to digital assets. And that's why we're hoping for a good statute to be enacted from all the discussions here in Congress. As far as the actual working together of the agencies, we are actively working on an MOU. It's kind of silly to think that two groups that are serving the taxpayer have to have an MOU as between them to work together, but be that as it may, we're out to get that.
Well, I appreciate your leadership in this, because making sure the CFTC and the SEC are working well together, not only at the principal level, at your level, but also through the staff is really important. Exactly. Let's dive into an area of specific, which is token taxonomy. We put forward frameworks on this in the House. I know the SEC is engaged in this. There's obviously overlap with the CFTC. Can you provide clarity as to where you are on that work?
Yes, so I've outlined how I believe that the two agencies will march ahead to bring clarity to this area. It'll be consonant with what's in the Clarity Act that you all passed here in the House, and hopefully what will come out of the joint work that you're doing with the Senate. So, we will carry that forward, and basically it'll help give certainty as to where the jurisdiction of the two agencies are. And if we marry that with I like to talk about a super app, where we'll have recognition of substituted compliance between the two agencies, I think that'll be the best.
Thank you. In my final 2 minutes here, let me shift gears to the proxy advisor duopoly. ISIS and Glass Lewis dominate in this space. I've introduced legislation to regulate and to change the rules of the road for proxy advisors. I am concerned about conflicts of interest, ideological bias, a lack of transparency. We have an opportunity to fix that from a legislative standpoint. I think that's really important. While we're working through that process, what can you at the SEC be doing to address this concern? And do you share my concern on the risks posed to the capital markets by this duopoly?
Oh, absolutely. And, anytime you have a concentrated industry, that's not necessarily good for the consumer of those products. But especially in this, as I alluded to previously, the situation with those two firms it's more of a symptom of the underlying problem, and that's, again, the weaponization of the of shareholder proposals and that sort of thing. So,
I agree with you on that, but I also think that there's a real conflict of interest between the ability to provide consulting services on one side of a so-called Chinese wall, and then to be able to provide advisory on the other side. Do you think that those potential or real conflicts of interest should be disclosed for the capital markets to operate efficiently?
Well, they not only should be disclosed, but obviously they need to be addressed. And so I think that's an issue that we definitely are concerned about.
I agree. Appreciate your work in this area. Mr. Chairman, yield back.